The Last Journey. Chapter 9.
George, Tal, and Hank worked on the star charts they had gotten from the ancient derelict. We had intended to stay in orbit around Tataun for an Earth month, and all our people had a restful time on the planet. My feet were itching again, but my 3 star chart experts wanted to power up the derelict computer to see if that computer would be able to assist in the integration of the ancient data and our charts. So, we stayed in orbit while my intrepid team went to the derelict and powered up its computer. The 3 crewmen powered up the computer and addressed the interface.
Computer, the star charts you downloaded to my unicorder are incompatible with our ship's computer. Is there any way you could make your star charts compatible with our ship's system?
Provide a star chart from your system.
Tal teleported back to the bridge and downloaded the star charts from our system. Upon his return to the derelict, he offered the star charts to the derelict's computer. From the computer.
Your star charts have been uploaded. Working. Working. Working.
Then silence. George almost perfectly imitated O'Reilly's voice.
Computer, talk to us. I am translating my star charts to be compatible with your system. I have translated my star charts to be compatible with your system, making corrections for the interval between my initial shutdown to date. I have translated your star charts and have integrated them into my system. I have uploaded the revised star charts into your system's auxiliary memory core. Further instructions?
George replied.
Thank you, computer. Then the computer replied, You're welcome, engineer.
Hank returned to the bridge and asked the computer.
Computer, access the star charts in the auxiliary core and display known Alpha Quadrant sectors.
A sector of the Alpha Quadrant appeared on screen that had not previously been explored much by the Navy or our allies. However, the furthest known sectors appeared on all of our charts. Expanding the display, we discovered a narrow corridor between our location and the known sectors of the Alpha Quadrant. Hank jumped up.
Captain, we found the way home.
Tal chimed in.
This will expand our knowledge of the space in both of the quadrants. What a find.
I shook the 3 crewmen's shoulders. All right, guys, let's go home. I heard the voice of one of TVAS nurses.
Captain, you are now the proud father of a 7-pound, 3-ounce baby girl. Your wife would like to see you.
I jumped up, on my way. Number 1, you have the con, let's see if we can get home. And I ran out toward sickbay. T-Sun jumped up.
Let's go.
I rushed to sickbay, my heart racing as I burst through the doors, my breath coming in short gasps. There, I saw Tfaz, her eyes tired but full of love, cradling our precious daughter in her arms, and all that mattered was the sight before me. Glow, what's her name? I managed to say, my voice a mix of excitement and relief. TVAS smiled gently.
T-Rose.
She replied, her eyes sparkling with pride. T-Rose? I repeated, letting the name roll off my tongue. It felt like the perfect name, a blend of tradition and new beginnings. Glow's smile widened, her exhaustion momentarily forgotten.
I want you to choose her middle name.
She said, her voice a soft invitation. I gazed down at our daughter, her tiny fingers wrapped around one of mine. My mind raced, thinking of all the possibilities. The weight of the moment settled on me, the gravity of naming a life, of shaping an identity. Phyllis, Susan, Lisa, Stella, Elaine. T-Rose Elaine, I whispered, testing the combination. The name seemed to fit, a new melody that resonated within me. Glow's eyes held a question as she looked at me.
Why Elaine?
She asked, curiosity dancing in her eyes. Tears welled up in my eyes, and one escaped, rolling down my cheek. I brushed it away with the back of my hand, a mixture of emotions swelling within me. Elaine was the middle name of my eldest daughter 5 centuries ago, T-Rose Elaine Stevens. The nurse came.
Captain, you'll have to let your wife rest now.
I nodded, leaned down, kissed my 2 girls, and quietly left the room. Arriving on the bridge, I shouted, my baby girl's name is T-Rose Elaine Stevens. And I laughed, tears running unashamedly down my face. The bridge crew smiled and cheered. Sally and Barbara turned and smiled at me.
Congratulations, sir.
I thanked them all and entered the ready room. Jorrell sat at the navigation console and wondered what new adventures lay ahead. His ship remained in the shuttle bay, but he had renamed the little cruiser the Little Boy. He, George, and Sheila had engineered the little ship into a formidable starfighter. They had installed new lasers, a torpedo tube, and a plasma cannon. They had also engineered the bridge of the little ship to make room for a single crewman behind the pilot. Jorrell had obtained my permission, although I was reluctant, for Barbara to join him in his cruiser in time of battle. Her argument at the time was that she was a member of the crew of the USS Constitution, the most powerful and versatile heavy cruiser in the Navy. She would put her life on the line like I and everyone else in the crew had done, are doing, and will do in the future. I can't argue with that. But you have to teach Sally to hug the donkey. We flew toward Sector 00, traveling along the narrow corridor of known space, sensors, and navigational computers, reaching out into the uncharted regions to expand our knowledge of the unknown. George, Tal, and Hank had established communication protocols with the derelict's computer, which had become an unofficial member of the crew, assisting in real-time data analysis and offering insights into the ancient data, charts, and esoteric knowledge stored in its memory banks. One particularly eventful day, an urgent message came through in Commodore O'Reilly's voice. The tone was grave.
Captain,
the message began.
We have received distress signals from an unknown vessel in a sector the derelict computer calls Sector 17 Charlie. It appears to be a ship of unknown design and origin. Our scans indicate significant damage and life support systems seem to be failing. Please render assistance immediately.
I ordered Hank to locate the sector and Sally to take us there, UL-16, please. I charged Jorrell and Barbara to take the little boy to scout the damaged ship and vicinity for possible hostiles. The little cruiser launched out, cautiously approaching the damaged ship. The derelict's computer provided real-time analysis of the vessel's structure, energy signatures, and potential communication channels. As Jorrell established contact with the unknown vessel, tense minutes passed before a grainy visual feed appeared on our view screen. The image revealed a vessel unlike any the crew had seen before, sleek, metallic, and adorned with intricate patterns that seemed to shift and change. The crew's eyes were fixed on the screen as a figure materialized, humanoid yet with exotic and fascinating features. I was puzzled. Kate, did you send us a message about a damaged ship nearby in O'Reilly's voice? She replied,
No sir, the derelict's computer sent that message. But it was accurate.
I thought, we need to differentiate between the two computer systems, people, suggestions. Ensign Savage piped up.
Captain, since the derelict computer is using Commodore O'Reilly's voice, just order it to respond to O'Reilly. Would that work?
All right, derelict computer. We shall address you as O'Reilly. Understood? O'Reilly's voice replied.
Understood, I will comply. And thank you, Captain.
Then I ordered, Constitution computer, we shall address you as Stella. Understood? Then Stella's voice responded.
Understood, Captain.
I stepped into my ready room, choking out, Number 1, you have the con. I sat and broke down as I never had before. My dear wife Stella and my best friend Robert O'Reilly were gone, and I would have a daily reminder of my loss. It was almost more than I could process. T-Sun stepped into the ready room.
Captain, we have arrived at the distressed ship. The damage is substantial. I'm assembling a team of engineers and security crewmen to teleport to the damaged ship.
I replied, tears still on my face. Good. Number 1, you're going to make a superior ship's captain. That's not a compliment, that's a statement of fact. Carry on. She studied my face.
Sir? Problem?
I shook my head. I just miss Stella and O'Reilly, and now I'll be reminded every day. But I'll get used to it. Now, off with you. Don't say anything about this, please. Brushing away another tear. She just nodded.
Of course, sir.
As she departed on her mission, she muttered to herself.
He's human.
But Sally had heard and whispered.
Very human, sir.
We were introduced to the ship's captain. They called themselves the Filer, and the captain was a dignified individual named Valera. She led T-Sun's team to the ship's control center. Valera explained.
We encountered a spatial anomaly that disrupted our systems. Despite our best efforts, we couldn't restore power or communication. We're grateful for your assistance.
T-Sun's team spread out, examining the ship's consoles and systems. It was evident that the disruption had affected even the most advanced technology. Security officers remained with our engineers, keeping vigilant watch in this strange environment. The team worked with the Filer engineers, and they uncovered the situation's complexity. The spatial anomaly had caused a cascading failure of interconnected systems, requiring a delicate and methodical approach to repairs. Hours turned into days as they painstakingly restored power and functionality. Tensions rose when an unexpected energy surge rocked the ship, triggering alarms. Valera's expression was grave as she said,
"This is unusual. Our ships are designed to handle a wide range of challenges. Whatever caused this anomaly seems to be evolving."
Amid the uncertainty, T-Sun and her team continued their efforts. It was a race against time to stabilize the ship before the anomaly's effects became irreversible. They worked with the Filer engineers, drawing on each other's expertise to solve the intricate puzzle. Finally, after days of tireless work, the ship's systems hummed to life. Lights brightened, consoles flickered with activity, and communication channels were restored. Valera expressed her gratitude.
"You have our deepest appreciation. Your collaboration saved us from a dire fate."
With the Filer ship back online, our team returned to the Constitution, tired but satisfied. The experience had forged new alliances and showcased the strength of unity in the face of the unknown. As my crew continued our way home, we considered, explored, and recorded the lessons learned from the Filer and so many other encounters. This journey of the Constitution had turned into a saga of cooperation, discovery, love, and the unbreakable human spirit in the face of the cosmos mysteries. The little boy had returned to our shuttle bay, and Jorrell and Barbara returned to their regular duties. We were fortunate to encounter friendlies this time, but there's no telling what we might find in the future. I tasked George and his engineers to work on constructing a second starfighter. We left the Filer ship and returned to our journey to the Alpha Quadrant, UL-16. Life aboard a spaceship was very routine, often boring. Every day was the same as the last, but it was always full of anticipation, what lies just around the next corner. And when we do find something new, we are excited. New friends, old friends, new enemies, old enemies, new worlds, new sights always meant excitement, fear, anxiety, and action. That's what this job's attraction is. And so we all did our jobs the best we knew in anticipation of the next thrill. O'Reilly's voice called out,
"Captain, a ship 2,000 kilometers starboard."
I said, "Kate, what do we know?" She replied,
"Sir, it's a Krill battle cruiser. It seems to be abandoned like our derelict."
I ordered, "Jorrell, Barbara, take little boy out and scout the area. Check at least 20 kilometers a full globe around the battle cruiser." They both jumped up.
Aye, sir."
And they ran to the lift, and away they went. "Kate, scan the whole area, feed me sector details. I want to know about a fly's whisker anywhere as far as our sensors can see."
"Aye, sir."
T-Sun asked,
Captain, why send little boy and scan the area simultaneously?
"Number one, this is just too much of a coincidence. How many derelicts have we found over the years we've been a crew? And why have we bumped into so many derelicts and damaged ships on this one mission? We happened upon one derelict Krill battle cruiser before, and it proved to be a disaster for our crew. Remember the green cloud?" She replied,
Oh, yes, sir. I understand.
I heard O'Reilly's voice.
"Captain, there are no signs of ships, asteroids, meteors, planets, or even dust within 2,000 kilometers in any direction, forward, aft, port starboard, up, or down. However, there are signs of life aboard the battle cruiser. Species unknown."
I heard Stella's voice.
Captain, the live signs are a single krill female.
I ordered, "Number 1, you, T-Vass, and 2 security crewmen teleport to that ship and find out what is going on." She stood and ordered.
Dr. Chief Briggs, join me in the teleporter room. Chief, bring along 1 female security crewman, please.
The teleport was accomplished, and I heard,
Captain, the ship is dead. The atmosphere is terrible. We will try and find the crew. Captain, it's negotiator Sheila. Bring us all back, fast.
"Tal, you have the con." I yelled as I ran off the bridge to meet the team with Sheila. They were carrying her to sickbay, and as she saw me, she smiled weakly.
"Friend David, I.
And she passed out. In sickbay, T-Vass worked swiftly to stabilize her, surrounded by the others of her team. Not knowing what they had encountered, T-Sun ordered her team to rest. She turned to me.
Captain, there is something strange about that ship. It smells funny.
We left sickbay and returned to the bridge to wait. I ordered little boy, Jorrell, and Barbara to remain on alert until we knew what had happened. Several hours later, T-Vass called.
David, Sheila is conscious and wants to talk to you.
I'll be right there. Quinn, you have the con. Number 1, you're with me. And we hurried down to sickbay to see Sheila sitting up. She looked exhausted. Sheila, what happened? She began to wail.
They killed my family, the children I named for you, T-Vass and Stella. They are all burned alive. I was put on that ship, and it was remotely launched, and I was with much air, food, or water to die in unknown space. This was to be my last journey.
I asked her, what do you want to do with that ship? She replied,
fix it up and shove it down their throats.
In her voice, I heard all the terror and hatred for those who destroyed her family. I asked her, who did this? She looked me in the eyes and replied,
remember those that orchestrated the coup and seized control and overthrew the legal government. Because I was instrumental in overthrowing them, they retaliated. They are held up in a military base they gained control of on Cunion Island. I want to blow them off the face of my world.
I caressed her appendage. My dear friend, I understand your feelings, but you will never kill all of them. It is best to turn them over to the authorities. She started.
Authorities. They are worthless. They refused to help me when my family was systematically burned alive. I will have my revenge, with or without your help.
T-Vass, T-Sun, Tall, Steve, and George all want us to help her. I said, okay, George, get her ship up and running. Completely restore its battle status. Get over there and give me an estimate of time. He replied,
Aye, sir.
George reported that it would take 2 weeks for him and his team to complete restoring her ship. I told him to get started. I told Sheila what we were doing and explained, Sheila, as much as I want you to have justice, I cannot engage the rebels directly unless they attack the Constitution. But I can see that your ship is battle ready in every way. Then we can help you get into Krill space. The rest would be up to you. She reached out and caressed my hand.
Thank you, friend David. Thank you.
During the 2 weeks it took to repair her ship, Sheila talked with T-Sun, Tall, Hank, Steve, Jorrell, and Barbara. I knew they were planning Sheila's attack. As much as I wanted to be part of that, I refrained, allowing the others to be part of the plot. George reported that Sheila's ship was battle ready. We stocked her ship with provisions she could eat and some for our crew to help her get to Krill space. Sheila, follow me. And once again, we started toward the Alpha Quadrant. Kate called out.
Captain, an old friend is near.
Who? She replied.
Admiral Yellowtooth, sir.
Then I heard.
David, stop and visit with us.
Tall replied.
Will do. Then notify Sheila.
We stopped and visited with our friend, the Admiral, and his son and crew. That great wingless dragon heard Sheila's story, and rage overtook him, cursing those who would murder innocents. He looked at Sheila.
Friend Sheila, David can't be part of your plan because of his oath to his people, but I, on the other hand, have no such restrictions. I would be part of your revenge and search for justice. After our sortie, I shall speak to your leaders.
And I heard that great dragon laugh such as I have never heard, a mixture of rage, sorrow, and anticipation for what lay ahead. I turned to the Admiral. Yellowtooth, I have never heard you roar like that, not even when we found you females forced to be sex slaves, and I thought that would make a strong man faint. The Admiral replied.
Sheila's story struck a chord in me. I will repay those, blankety, blank.
I heard Stella's voice call out.
Captain, those last 3 words are untranslatable, but I will tell you that they are a curse such as you have never heard.
We returned to our ships and continued our journey with Admiral Yellowtooth beside us. I ordered Barbara to push it to the max. The 3 ships began to travel at UL-16. After about 8 hours, Sheila called.
Friend David, my ship cannot continue at this speed. I must reduce our speed to UL-12.
Barbara, UL-12, please. I instructed Tal to inform Sheila and Yellowtooth that we were reducing speed for her sake. I did not want her to go it alone. After what seemed like forever, we arrived in the Alpha Sector and began heading for the Krill home world. As we approached the planet, all stopped. Jorrell, Barbara, take little boy out and scout the area. As they left, I knew that we would be pulled into the fray.
Unknown ships, identify yourselves.